Ding, 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 ding. You like that wind up? Hit that beat, that ill nasty beat. It's the Jenna Julien Podcast. I will never rap again, I promise.
Sorry.
Drops mic.
I spit on myself. You dropped the mic that's standing.
That was a disaster. You spit on yourself?
Ew.
I rapped. Welcome back to the Jenna Julien Podcast, everyone.
You're nasty.
Another episode hanging out with us where we talk about the Jenna Julien things amongst all the other things. Thank you for joining us this week.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Headspace. Meditation made simple. Guys, get rid of all that anger. Get rid of all that stress. Wow, I just said that like you're an angry person. You're not. Everyone has anger and stress, but you can get rid of it with Headspace. It's guided meditation. Go to headspace.com/Jenna Julien. Try the Take 10 program and meditate guided for free. Our other sponsor this week is Midroll. What Midroll is basically a company that we work with that helps us get sponsors for the podcast. So, you know what I'm saying now, like reading the sponsor, what they want, you guys to know. Midroll gathers sponsors that they think you guys would like. And what they're asking you this week is to take a quick survey. And what the survey will do is basically make sponsors that you're interested in. So if you take that survey, you're bound to find sponsors on this show that you will generally be more inclined to, follow up with or be interested in. So they're asking you to take a 5-minute survey, very easy, very quick. There's also a possibility you could win a $100 Amazon gift card.
Girl.
Yeah. So go to podsurvey.com/JJ to take that survey. We really appreciate it. The sponsors make this podcast free for you. So
Supports the show. Supports us.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to our sponsor.
Thank you, sponsors. All right, Julian. Go for it.
Okay. So I don't want to, I want to preface this little conversation. We're not going to make a giant long podcast about this, but I want to preface this little conversation with, I've never met the Fine brothers. I think I've met, maybe said hi to them when I went with you to do React, but I've never actually I don't think they know who I am. So, I want everyone to know that I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt as human beings. Mm-hmm. I assume they're fine human beings. I've only ever heard amazing things from YouTubers about them.
Was that a pun? They're fine human beings?
Wow, that was a pun, and it was not intended, but I'm going to pretend like it was. But the reason I want to talk about them is because they are a little bit under fire recently, as of the last couple of days, and it's because they've released or kind of announced React World, which is, in essence, the Fine Brothers, for those who don't know, run a YouTube channel and a company called the Fine Brothers Entertainment. And basically what they do, if you ever seen YouTubers react, teens react, kids react, that's their thing. They basically find people of all sorts of different genres to react to all sorts of different videos. And that's been their channel for years and years. And they've done an amazing edit. They're, I think, 14 million subscribers now. It's a massive, massive channel. And, what they did is they announced something called React World, which in essence is licensing their specific shows. So they're licensing teens react, YouTubers react, elders react, things like that as entities that people, if they want, like say you wanted to, have your elders react to a video. If you wanted to call it Elders React and have that be the format, you would now have to license it through the Fine Brothers. And they're under fire because, well, basically, reaction videos were around before they came around. Before they even had a YouTube channel, reaction videos existed. And now it seems like they're, in a sense, they talk about not wanting people to get ripped off and that they're not fans of people stealing content or stealing ideas. And so they want people to license their shows and pay them in order to use them. And I think a lot of people have a problem with this because the whole spectrum of YouTube, everyone takes a little something from here and there. Like you watch videos to do your homework, to see what's going on, and then in turn to make your own content. I'm not saying you watch videos to rip them off, but you learn, and a lot of reaction channels exist on YouTube. And I don't think they're going after just people who are reacting to videos, like say H3H3 or Grade A Under A, like things like that. I don't think they're just going after people who react. I think they're trying to just capture a subsect of people who want to make videos that are just like the Fine Brothers. But in reality, before their announcement this week, it would have been free to do so. And now it's not. What I do have a problem with, which I will say, because I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't know what's behind it. I don't want to rush to judgment. But what I do have a problem with is the censorship. And what I mean by that is when they announced this project or thing, whatever you want to call it, they were on the video page on their channel. They were policing comments. They were basically deleting multiple comments that were pissed off at the whole thing. And there's screenshots and evidence of it. It was just some censorship going on. And that's the thing that I feel like is like, it's kind of like an admission of doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, or you're not proud of, or, you're not happy with. And B, it's not right. YouTube, as much as you're allowed to delete comments on your page, it's not what it's for. This made it to the Reddit front page on multiple subreddits, but namely our videos. And that's where you can find a lot of the information, because they can't delete comments on there. So I don't know. I just think it's definitely interesting. And it's definitely something that people are going to be very, very aware of. Like I said, I feel bad trying to rush to judgment or trying to understand what's behind it, or why this project is happening, or this whole idea, what sparked it. But I'm trying to be as impartial as I can, because I don't 100% have all the information. I don't know the guys. They seem nice.
Yeah. Can I throw my 2 cents in?
Absolutely.
I know the Fine Brothers. They're nice guys. Benny and Rafi, they're pretty dope. I've known them for years, and I have done an episode of YouTubers React. And I think that it's pretty well known within the YouTube community that, I haven't like explicitly made a reaction video in the past. So I've never, had to have any sort of confrontation with them, but I do know that they aren't too fond of other YouTubers being like, oh, I'm making a reaction video, because I do think that they want to hold on to that within the internet space, which fine. I've never felt any strong desire to be like, oh, here's me reacting or whatever. And, I understand that they have grown a business entity around React series.
Yes.
I don't think that they're claiming that they invented it. I don't think that they're claiming that they want to copyright the word react or the idea of reacting. They want to copyright the show format so that people in other countries that speak other languages can take their brand and then create it in other areas. That in and of itself seems relatively harmless to me. I don't know that they needed to make a video announcing that. I think that they thought, oh, well, some Joe Schmo over in Germany is going to see this video and be like, yes, I'm interested in that. I think that there were other ways to do it without, laying out your business plan for the general population.
I agree. I don't know why they did that.
Well, there's lots of reasons. You get exposure for your business. But I feel conflicting about it because, obviously on a surface level, to copyright a format is really hard on the internet, and I'm not sure that it's even worth it, because I'm not a business person. Okay. I'm very bad at business. I'm the type of person that until I had people helping me, they're like, hey, will you do this for free? And I'm like, sure. Like, I'm not smart about stuff like that.
You're not business minded.
Because I just don't care.
Yeah.
I think that it's difficult on the internet to understand which direction to grow your business in. And this is something that they've decided, like, this is a feasible way to grow our business without having to, make more television shows or more YouTube shows, because they're only 2 guys. Yes, they have a giant team around them, but like, how far can you expand before you're like, all right, we need to break into a global market here.
Yeah.
I get that. What I'm having trouble sitting with is the reason that people love the internet is because it's democratized, right? Anyone can pick up their camera and their laptop and make a YouTube channel and create something out of nothing. I have a problem with them being like, okay, well, if anybody wants to do this ever, they need to go through us, or else you're going to have problems, basically. that takes away the spirit of the internet.
You can't just film and upload now.
Yeah. Imagine if Frank or, anybody had copywritten jump cuts, or someone had copywritten the format of a late night talk show. Like, I think that what makes the internet thrive is that we're all in it together and that no one is licensing anything. It is very frustrating when you see Jimmy Fallon be like, all right, here's the whisper challenge. Like, if somebody copyright fucking challenges, we'd all be so fucked right now. Or copyright the format of a podcast, everybody would be fucked.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what they're trying to do essentially, but it is in essence sort of what they're doing.
Well, I think the point you made about the internet thriving on this kind of system is a really good point, because in their video, they cited America's Got Talent versus Britain's Got Talent. And that's so different. That's TV. Right. It's literally an entirely different format, process,
I agree.
System, business.
And that's why I have a problem a little bit with them trying to do it in the internet space. I think it's admirable because it's never been done before. So we're all going to watch and learn and see what happens. But I think you're saying all like, oh, team internet, like this is great for everybody, which is often true. When someone busts down a door and breaks down a wall, it's good for all of us.
Doesn't feel like that's
every
the case.
Accomplishment that someone from like the internet accomplishes,
the internet's happy for them.
Well, because it means that's more opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely.
When someone takes you seriously, like Connor Franta, for example, just got I forget what it's called, but his Herdwell. Music
label,
thing. He got approved to now be in the Grammy recording artist little panel so that he gets to decide who wins Grammys.
That's huge.
When someone accomplishes something like that, it busts down doors for everybody about what is possible and what you can do in this space as a person that makes their living online. What I think that they're doing, though, is they're making it seem like this is great for everyone and this is fair for people on the internet, because we do get our ideas ripped off and we have no rights to them because they're just ideas and we're just people. We're not giant corporations that can file lawsuits. Hold on. I understand that, but they're adhering those ideas to old school television formats.
Yeah.
So if you are in a new media business and you're adhering to old Hollywood standards, I'm not sure that the result that you're going to get is what you want. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, because they're coming at it from that angle.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine, you made your how to trick people video, right? And then you made a couple other videos and you made a rant, right? Up to camera rant. You're like, hey, I want this to be my thing. Nobody can make it to camera rant, sitting on their bed, talking to their webcam, until they pay me and license it through me. And like, not only is that not even feasible, and it's completely like the opposite of how the internet works, but in a world, like, it's just like, hypothetically, if you did that, right? Imagine the massive amounts of less of female or otherwise rant vloggers who would exist now. They just wouldn't exist because you get inspired. And the whole system of creating on YouTube is, I make this, somebody watches it and they're in some way moved or inspired, or something turns on in their brain when they watch it. And then they show something to the world and then someone watches that and it makes everything work. And when people rip shit off, they get reamed. Like, it's like a self-sustaining system. Mm-hmm. If you rip someone off, it's
democratized.
Exactly. Right? You're going to get called out for it. The comment section will ream you. If you rip people off, you won't just be okay. So the fact that they're not adhering to that, like, it's almost like an unwritten rule. Like, don't rip people off. That's not how the internet works. Take ideas, learn things, and be inspired, but don't rip people off. They're taking it to another level where they're like, well, if you rip us off, we're going to sue you. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
It just feels so anti-internet to me.
Well, exactly. And that's what I think. They are coming at this from a business perspective. Like, how can we protect this entity that we've created? And I think that's, it could be a good thing for all of us in the future. Who knows? Yeah. But it's also a dangerous line to walk in that yes, it's been frustrating to have ideas that, you know, you can't license, you can't do anything with, and people are just free to rip you off and make money off of it, or even just take your videos. I think that's a way bigger problem. People actually taking your videos and uploading them to separate channels and to Facebook and
just in
money.
their entirety.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
That's a problem that we need to fix. What they're trying to solve isn't really a problem.
Right. I think that the beautiful thing about the internet is anyone's allowed to make anything, and we self-police, and we are a community.
Self-police. That's one of the most important points here, is that it's like an ecosystem, and it kind of just maintains itself. Right. You know, the thieves, well, most of them get weeded out. Right now, Facebook is kind of throwing a wrench into that. But, you know, the thieves get weeded out. You inspire people. It's a community. You back each other when they do good, and you back each other when they do bad. It's a whole thing. And, no, you know, and here's the thing. Like I said, I've never met the Fine Brothers. They seem like nice guys. If they're watching this, I want them to know that there's no any sort of like ill anything towards you guys. Absolutely. We are really just trying to analyze the situation. And I feel like if we weren't doing this, we wouldn't be being honest to our podcast audience.
For sure.
You know, I understand that you're not just a YouTube channel. You're not just some kid in his bedroom making videos every week. You're an entire corporation, and you're a big one. Mm-hmm. So I get that part. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the feeling of wanting to protect what you've created, especially on such a large scale. I just am not so sure that this was the way to get the internet on your side about it. You know? Right.
Well, when we talk about, just the natural progression of entertainment, film, television, internet, you know, radio is in there somewhere, but people started watching the internet because it seems real. It's 100% real. It's just regular people with a phone or a flip cam or a fucking, you know, flip cam recorder. Yeah. And it's just sort of like their home movies. And that's what YouTube is. Then people started to create a show. Like, it was YouTubers, not me, it was years before me, but people that created the idea of uploading on a regular basis and asking people to come back, that you're going to be there, that you're going to upload things. That was an idea created just by people. And people would go to their channel and watch their videos every single week. And then soon maybe that turned into a format of how much time you were going to spend, what exactly a video was about, what you were going to do in that video. This is all completely created by people on the internet, to the point where now, like, there is somewhat of a format of what makes a channel, or a YouTube video, you know, that there's an opening or an end card, or, you know, it's this amount of time, or if it's a story time video, it's like this, or if it's a challenge, it's like that. You know, there's definitely formats that have been created, but as a community and a culture as a whole. And even now, people are getting very upset from watching YouTube, being like, this is fucking fake. Like, these pranks that I thought were real are fake. These people that I thought I liked are fake. There's a lot of fake stuff going on. You know, it's no longer this, I have this, you know, flies on the wall eye view of your life anymore. Half of this shit's fucking fake and clickbait, and you're just trying to get me to watch it so you can get paid, because now everyone knows that you can make money on the internet.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
So people are becoming very skeptical of YouTube and videos as a whole, because for good reason, they don't believe that what they're getting is genuine anymore. Just like on television, when you realize, like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? Like, this is fucking fake. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, all these reality shows, like, this is scripted? Why are there fucking writers? You remember when that was the thing? When you're like, I just saw that there's writers on Survivor. What the fuck is this? You know, and then your mind explodes 10 years ago or whatever. It's happening on the internet now, where people are like, I'm getting
You're right. We're in that more and more
distrustful of what I thought was real. And now I don't like it. And what I think I'm trying to think of the word that I'm thinking of, but like the businessification, the corporatizing of the internet, which I think might be inevitable. You know, you might have to do this,
but you wouldn't expect an internet person to.
I can't say that, because they're smart business people. Maybe it is a good idea, but I do think that the corporatization of internet companies you know, they have good reasons. There's a lot of money involved for big companies like that. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of lives, there's a lot of things at stake. You got to do what you got to do to protect what you've created. I get that. Yeah. But regardless, the corporatization of YouTube as a whole is damaging the community and the people that come there to create, to watch, to hang out, to do everything, because now you realized that it's exactly what you didn't want to come here for, you know? Yeah. What drew you to YouTube in the first place, the real, you know, just seeing other people's lives out of genuine curiosity, the voyeuristic aspect is being taken away because now you know, like, oh, well, people apparently aren't free to just sit down and make whatever they want anymore. Yeah. Now there's rules. Yeah. Well,
you know, what you said, emphasizing that the internet is changing right now, is important. It is, because we're not living in 2009. Right. You know, it's very different than it was. It's, you know, it's just one of those things that I'm very, very interested to see how it plays out. I'm interested to see how the whole, you know, everything plays out in YouTube. Like, you know, a year from now, things are going to be so much different, just like they were a year ago. YouTube Red, like things like that. Like, like Jenna always says, and you always say this, and I cannot emphasize enough, like how well this hits home is, a year on the internet is an eternity. Yeah. And, you know, what she means by that is in internet land, in YouTube, in the world
new media, any new media.
New media. But, you know, we talk about YouTube because that's where we live. A year goes by and so much can change. Whereas you look at TV, a year goes by. Yeah, maybe they're shooting in 4K. Maybe they're not. I don't know. You know, it's like there's very, very little. Whereas the internet, fucking everything has shifted in one way or another in 1 year. And like, you know, we always talk about how there is no real path for a YouTuber right now because it's currently being paved. The construction is happening right now.
Yeah, for an internet person.
For an internet person. So yes, people know that you can make money as an internet person, but they don't know where that exactly goes. People are transitioning to TV, to film, to writing books, whatever, but they don't know where this path is going to go, which is, you know, it's a crazy thought. Right. The fact that we're all in flux right now.
We'll take the Vine community, for example. And I've said this because I have a lot of friends that are Viners that are grappling with the idea. They all seem to think that Vine is dead. Every like Viner that I know, they're like, nah, dude, Vine's fucking dead, man. Like we got to figure out something else to do. But everything, so film, television, the internet, and then there's Vine, which I think is like some of the newest, or Snapchat, some of the newest
musically
forms. Yeah. Some of the newest forms to gain an audience on the internet. Yeah. Like YouTube for us, you know, anyone that grew an audience on YouTube, it usually happens over the course of a couple of years, or, you know, 1 year if you really fucking go crazy.
But still, a year.
You need to be uploading regularly and creating what you want to create on a regular basis, and it does take some time for you to grow that. Yeah. Vine, it was like these people can go from no one cares to 11 million followers and 3 billion fucking loops. And now you have a career. Exactly. Yeah. And to imagine that happening is outrageous, right? Like that's fucking insane to me. And then a year of their time is infinitely faster than a year of our time. That is infinitely faster than a year of television.
Exponential. Time. YouTube is TV on speed. Vine is the YouTube on speed. It's like everything is constantly getting quicker and smaller.
And we saw what was interesting from someone living in a world on YouTube that is a little bit slower than the Vine world is you could watch, according to them, according to Viners, you watched the entire ecosystem go through a rise and fall. Yeah. You watched it go from, you know, just weird people uploading whatever to this is what's popular. Oh my God, this is hysterical. To Revine for Revine, to everyone putting the same ad on their Vine, to now everyone hates Vine and it's sort of back to like a fuck show. You watch the entire lifespan of YouTube happen over the course of 3 years.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know?
Yeah.
It's been very interesting to watch, and to watch all of the people on Vine be like, well, okay, now that I've accomplished the hardest part, which is just getting an audience, just getting people to care, which people vastly underestimate how hard that is.
Absolutely.
Just getting people to give a shit about what you have to say. Yeah. Why should I fucking care? It's very hard to then being like, all right, now that I've done the hardest part, what can I do with my life to sustain that? Yeah. And they don't have an answer. A lot of them are doing YouTube, doing, the same thing that all of us on YouTube are doing. Like, which direction should I go? It's hard to know because no one really has done it except for us.
Yeah.
You don't have a concrete path.
It's very, very interesting.
Yeah. But it was really cool to see Vine go through like an entire lifespan, and now everyone's sort of like, well, I guess I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. I'm gonna fucking do this.
And like
something
it
more
was like
sustainable.
a third of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they had to. Their platform is not innately monetizable. You can't just go on there and get AdSense for your loops. They needed to do those brand deals, which of course turned all of their audiences off from them. It makes them mad when they know that they're watching a commercial. And sometimes you're tolerant of it. But unfortunately, because they can't just make a Vine every day with a little,
bit of money coming in,
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's obviously a key difference.
Right. But anyways, I digress. What I think is important about what's happening with the Fine brothers is that regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with what they're doing, it's interesting to watch. It's never been done before, and it will help or hurt all of us in the long run.
Absolutely. It will, whatever it does, it will make waves.
It might not even affect us.
I feel like in some way, there's no way it's not going to affect us. Mm-hmm. Something about it is going to change something. Even if it's minuscule, it's going to have a little bit of a ripple effect. No doubt about it.
What I hope doesn't happen is I hope that they're successful in whatever they do because I like them. They're friends of mine. They're great guys. They've already been successful in a lot of ways. I hope that they're successful in what they're trying to accomplish, which sounds to me more infringing than what I think it really is. I don't think that there's as much of a problem as what the uproar is making it seem like. Yeah. I think they're literally just trying to find people in other countries to make react shows. Yeah. In a fair way.
I agree.
Which makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the mission statement is bad.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you listen to it from a certain perspective, it sounds horrible.
Yeah. But I don't think that's entirely what it's
when
about.
You think about it, though, from a logical perspective, I literally think they're just trying to find people in Switzerland and fucking Japan to just make fair react
Just don't
series.
let me off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what I was going to say. But anyways, what I hope doesn't happen is that they are so successful in doing that now every YouTube channel somehow either feels the need to have a copyright on a format to grow their audience or, is forced to...
That's a scary fucking thought.
Copyright a format. It's horrifying.
Scary thought.
Absolutely.
I mean, like... When you're explaining the internet to someone who doesn't know what the internet is, and they're like, you make a living just, making whatever videos you want. And you're like, yeah. And they're stuck on the idea of like TV. You need to get approval. You need to get signed onto a network. You need to get a pilot episode. You need 50 people to accept it. And
we have networks on the internet.
No, I know. I'm not talking about networks. I'm talking about independent YouTubers. Okay. And it's important to understand that the biggest, most paramount difference from the internet and TV is that it's democratized. Like you said, you can do it yourself. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to pay money. You press upload and it's done. What this could set the precedent for is terrifying because it might take that away or it might take steps towards taking that away. Like what you just said is horrifying. Every person, every creator is going to find a way to copyright something. And then suddenly you log on to YouTube and it is TV. It is not YouTube anymore.
Right. Well, it is sort of getting there.
No, that's why it's scary.
Right.
Because it seems like it's true. And, it's scary. It's scary for creators. It's scary for, audiences, and it causes, stress and worry, but you can get rid of that. Just go to Headspace and you'll be able to meditate just for 10 minutes a day.
That was a good one.
Try the Take 10 program on Headspace, the app. You go to headspace.com/Jenna Julien. You get a link to download the app. And once you download the app, you try their program. Take 10, meditate, guided 10 minutes each day, and you will absolutely see an effect. Thousands of years of scientific research, thousands of years of tradition have incorporated meditation. And that's for a good reason. Meditation works. It truly does. It takes away stress. It helps you with your relationships, gives you a clear mind. And it really, like 10 minutes. Everyone's always with their phone. Get a pair of headphones and you can do it right on your phone, anywhere you are. If you're in the bathroom at work, I've said this before. Sounds like kind of weird, but if you're having a bad day at work, take that thing into the stall and fucking meditate for 10 minutes. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Give it a try. Go to headspace.com/Jenna Julien and give it a whirl, seriously, and let us know how you like it, because I've tried it and I can't tell you how nice it is. While I'm doing it, I'm trying my best not to think of how much I'm enjoying it, because you really need to you need to put your mind towards it. But, in the world where we're constantly on screens, it's very nice. So thank you, Headspace, for sponsoring us. Mid-roll, guys, if you haven't already, maybe take right now. It's a 5-minute process. Go to podsurvey.com/JJ and you take the survey. Like I said, it's less than 5 minutes. And every month they send out a $100 gift card on Amazon. So you could win that gift card. And it keeps, what Midroll does as a company, why we work with them is they make the podcast free for you guys. And that's important to us. We want you guys to have content for free. We want to give you shit to consume, and you can eat it all up and then not have to pay a bill afterwards. You know what I mean? So go to podsurvey.com/JJ and fill out the survey if you have a second. We really appreciate it. It will help you because it will make it so we're not advertising old people homes. We're giving you good advertisements. We're giving you good sponsors that you would want to use. So thanks again to our sponsors, and thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while you were, doing our sponsors for the podcast, I was thinking of something a little relevant that I wanted to say. Okay. So when we started the podcast, it was, just for fun. We started on laptops, who the fuck knows?
August of 2014.
Yeah. And no expectations, just going to do it.
15. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, 14 or 15?
I don't know.
No, it's 14. It's going to be 2 years in August. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
But what we wanted to do was make sure that we were, since you're going into a space and a already set up sort of format, what is this format? What's the appropriate length of time? What are you supposed to do during it? When we started a podcast, the podcast format already exists.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we adhered to that format. And as time went on and we got people that wanted to sponsor us, which was good because we needed to pay off these fucking mics and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
What's an appropriate amount of sponsorship? Yeah. We didn't create the format of, you have a sponsor in the beginning, in the middle, and then you mention them at the end. Yeah. We're adhering to a format that's tolerable.
Respecting the format.
Exactly. Whenever you're going into a new format, you respect fuck? You respect what has already been set ahead of you. Yeah. You can play with it. You can push it. You can do whatever within it, but you do need to acknowledge that there is a format. Same with this Twitch stream. When we started on Twitch,
you're accepting donations and you're like, what the fuck is this?
It is very bizarre to accept money from people for streaming.
But it's the culture. It's how it works.
It's the culture of Twitch. Yeah. And you need to do your homework, understand, the people that are already in the space. What do they do? What's their thing like? Yeah. How can I be respectful of the established community without stepping on anyone's toes, respecting the format, instead of just barging in there and being like, hey guys, here's what I'm fucking doing, fuck everybody. What I think is happening with, the Fine Brothers and what they're doing is they're taking a format. They've already established it on the internet and taking what everyone agrees is the format on the internet, which is we make shows, you watch it for free. You might have to watch an ad. Yeah. And now they're saying, we would like to turn our backs on what it feels like, the internet as a whole, and be like, we want to license this. We want to now adhere to another format. Yeah. And I imagine if I was a person in Japan and I was like, I want to make a React series. Yeah. I've seen this wildly popular React series in America and I would like to make it. It would be very difficult for me as someone with a Wi-Fi connection and a camera and a microphone and, some people to sign a waiver to decide that I would like to give the Fine Brothers any of my profits from making that series just because they did it first. Yeah. I'd be like, no, I'm in Japan and I would like to make it myself. I don't understand why I can't do that.
I think something I really think, I hope our audience takes hold of what you just said and really understands the weight behind it is, you're talking about going on a new platform, looking around, seeing how it works and respecting the rules. whether they're out there or whether they're unwritten. There are rules for every platform.
Right.
Like she said, for podcasting, there are sponsors.
Right.
It's complete. And the fact that Jenna is so quick to respect that notion that you need to respect cultures of new platforms, even if it means having a brand on her podcast. If you guys know Jenna, she doesn't do any brand stuff.
Right.
None. Zero on her channel. And so a brand deal or a sponsorship is completely foreign. But the fact that we've accepted it is a testament to how important. Yes.
Right.
For the podcast, for Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, the donations and stuff. It's a testament to how important it is to really, really understand what you're getting into and not just come in there like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it my way. No.
Right.
You're not.
Well, understand the pros and cons
Exactly.
of a scenario.
And like, it's important to think about that when you talk about the Fine Brothers in this situation, because it doesn't feel like, they've been around. They're YouTubers, tried and true, but it doesn't feel like this decision is necessarily representative of them respecting the rules or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of Viners in particular ask me just some, general advice about how to start on YouTube.
Yeah.
And my advice is always the same, just do it. And then just make sure that you're consistent. Don't upload a video and then upload one 3 months later. That's not going to help you. Yeah. Just pick a schedule, whatever it is, and make sure that you stay to that for as long as you fucking can or want to. And that if ever there's something that exists that's already been done, the YouTube community, for the most part, thrives on credit. We're really happy,
For the most part, absolutely.
We're really happy to just say, like, hey, if you liked this, it's already been done on this channel. Gina and Jesse have
literally
already done
every
this.
challenge we've ever done, we say,
Exactly.
Gina and Jesse did this.
Right.
Or,
because we know as people that are constantly getting actual feedback from actual people that watch your videos.
Yeah.
Unlike television or film, when you wait until someone writes a paper, a magazine article about your fucking movie. No, we hear from every single person in the comments immediately. Mm-hmm. And so if somebody on YouTube does a challenge, we know that people are going to ask you to do it because they want to see you do it.
Yeah.
So what's your choice there? Are you just going to fucking ignore everybody? Like you can, totally can. No big deal at all. But I mean, every once in a while, they're fun to do. Who the fuck cares? Yeah. And I think as a whole, our community is cool if you do something, even as a tribute. Even if you're like, I really like Epic Mealtime. I want to make a fucking Epic Mealtime tribute. Parody, comedy, whatever the fuck.
I did one the other week to How To Basic. I did a How To Basic tribute. It's like, when you're compelled from another person's content to like do that or to tribute them or to shout them out or credit them, that's the greatest thing ever because it keeps the system running.
Right. And I can tell you as someone, like I'll get people to send me a link of like, here's me mildly annoying my dogs.
I know. We love that.
It's as a person that's like deep in the YouTube community, like this is my home and I consider the internet my home and where I want to stay. And there is no ladder that I'm trying to climb. I'm trying to stay on the internet forever. Yeah. Which I don't think is a popular opinion.
It's one of those ladder machines in the gym where it's going nowhere. You're just climbing the still
Jacob's
ladder.
Yeah. It makes me genuinely happy to see other people take something that I've made and make what they want to make.
Absolutely. I mean, recently, last couple months, I'd have people like, every once in a while will send me on Twitter or whatever, like, you inspired me to make this. And I mean, every once in a while, because it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's cool. It's like a time lapse video or something similar or derivative that I did. And I'm always so happy to watch that and so excited. Well,
what that boils down to is that genuine, dare I say, reaction that you're having is
sign here before you say it. Just kidding.
Is not money driven. Yeah. You don't look at that person's video and say, look at all these views of them, getting money off of my idea. How dare they?
Of course.
It's coming from the spirit of democracy on the internet and freedom of speech and uploading and, making whatever you want to make. Yeah. That's why there's a reason why you might watch a video that's a direct ripoff, but a tribute to your idea. They at least gave you credit. They mentioned you, which it makes you feel like cool and special. You're like, this is great. But if you're coming from a business-minded
You
place,
don't think like that.
you don't think like that. You see, here's this person taking my idea and making money off of it, and this is wrong.
Yeah.
I can't 100% say that, a React formatted show is the same as someone also mildly annoying their dogs. I might be coming from a different place. If I had created a show, I don't know how I would feel, but I can't imagine that I would ever possibly look at someone else's show and format and whatever and feel threatened to the point where I need to copyright this.
Yeah.
I would be like, good for fucking them, man. Do you. I'm still going to do me. Yeah. Because my goal has never been to grow as much as I can and grow my business, make the most money possible, just expand. Because every day that I wake up, I get to do what I want and somehow have enough money to pay some bills and feed myself. I'm living the dream.
100%.
And that's why I'm a bad business person.
100%. And what people need to remember is that you as a human being and as a creator and as a personality, that's proprietary. No one can be you. Right. You can make a rant video just like Jenna, but you will be you. Right. And she will be her. Right. And that's the important part. I started
because of iJustine.
Exactly.
And I was discouraged from the get-go because I was like, I will never be iJustine. She is nice and smart and beautiful.
And you guys are so much alike, as in that she's still fucking going because she's been true to her this whole time.
And that's what I love about the internet is just because someone else is doing something doesn't mean that you can't still exist. And I've said this since forever. Like, there's enough room on the internet for literally everyone. If everyone makes a channel and does exactly what you do, I don't believe that it's threatening you in any way.
Not at all. Not at all. Because, there's a self-policing ecosystem. There are ideas everywhere and there's opportunity every single time you go on YouTube. Yeah. Every single time.
And, to play devil's advocate to what the Fine Brothers are trying to do, which again, I want to emphasize, I think that they should be able to do what they want, and it's going to be very interesting to watch, and it could help everyone in the long run. Yeah. And I like them as people, and I respect them as business people and internet people. Yeah. I respect them.
I do too. Absolutely.
But I would like to play devil's advocate to the corporatization of that and say, I believe we might be better off as an internet community just letting things run as they are.
Look where it's gotten the internet.
And very, getting rid of networks.
Yeah. Well, we could have a podcast on networks. That'd be fun. Maybe sometime. Not today, though.
Not today.
I really want to hear you guys chime in. Okay, so I want to hear your opinions on if you were aware of this, what you think, and if you agree with us, or what you think this could lead to. Because I am strongly in the team of believing that this will cause waves, whatever they are, however small they are, it's going to do something. And I want to know what you guys think.
Right. And not just on YouTube.
Not just on YouTube. This changes more than just YouTube. Yes, absolutely.
This idea of adhering a, franchise format to new media has serious implications for, things that don't even exist yet.
Yes, absolutely. For the next YouTube or the next Vine.
For the next Snapchat.
Yeah.
This has serious implications for new media as a whole. And, it's going to be interesting to watch and go down. But I will forever be in the boat that, everybody do everything. And fuck everything. Fuck all the rules. That's what's cool about the internet. Is that everybody's a chicken with their head cut off. Nobody knows what they're doing. And if anybody tells you they know shit about new media,
they're a liar.
They're lying. Nobody knows anything.
They're either a liar or they've successfully time traveled. One of the two, which I wouldn't count either of them.
Or they're those people that think they know everything.
That's true. That's the third option.
And they don't.
The asshole.
Those people are the ones that say, new media guru in their Twitter bio and they have 10 followers.
Oh my God, new media guru. Philanthropist.
But yeah, I definitely let us know what you think.
Let us know, guys. And, thank you for always hanging out with us and listening to what we have to say. This is, nearly an hour every week where we just sit here and talk, about our opinions on things. And we cannot emphasize to you enough how much we appreciate you chilling out with us always. And hearing us talk and discuss things. And B, want to do this for a very long time, because we do. We want to do this for as long as we can, because this is an amazing thing that we get to do.
It's an outlet.
It's an amazing outlet. Like it's almost like sort of therapy. We get to just like talk what's on our mind and like express and discuss, and it's so good. And you guys get to watch it like
and every
completely
once in a
unfiltered.
while, somebody shows up and hangs out with us.
Yeah, which we're working on getting a few more exciting guests. So hold on for that. But until then, you'll just have to deal with us
For sure.
Check out our sponsors if you have a second. Podsurvey.com/JJ takes 5 minutes. It's a survey about sponsors for the podcast. Very meta, but it does help get sponsors that you guys will like on the podcast. So it helps you, helps us, helps everyone. So check them out. That's Midroll and Headspace. Take the Take 10 challenge. Meditate for 10 days for free. See how you like it. Guided meditation right from your iPhone. Go to headspace.com/Jenna Julien. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll see you guys for another one next week.
I hope no one took anything what I said as
I think we were pretty clear. I hope we were clear. I feel like we were.
I love the internet, and I love everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody.
Most importantly, everybody love everybody.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Bye.
Bye.